All right, so hi, hello. I want to talk about today the Song of Solomon by American Guinea Pig, one of the American Guinea Pig movies by Unearthed Films, Song of Solomon. It's a gore flick. Not too sure what the actual genre is called. I just watched them, but I felt like since I saw a review of this before watching it, and then I watched it, and I came away feeling different than the person that reviewed it. I feel like I can talk about it, I guess. But anyway, Song of Solomon. It's the score flick. I still don't know what to call it. I'm not going to look it up. But okay, so I watched it, and the reviewer I watched the review from. She liked it. She liked it quite a bit. She put it up there. Like I think she gave it like an 8 out of 10 or something. But I didn't quite like it. Like I gotta stop saying if I'm gonna do this. Well, okay, Song of Solomon opens up with his father yelling at his daughter. Then I think it was his tongue. Yeah, he takes his tongue out and he cuts it off and just puts, and then he dies. That's how it opens up, which I think is a little different than what I usually see in these kind of movies. In this movie, it's like a possession. This girl's possessed. Exorcists come and try to like exorcise the demon. They fail, obviously, because the movie happens. Um, and most of the like nearly all the mutilation in this movie, all the blood, gore, effects, the mutilation, it all comes from the person that's being mutilated. Like they do it to themselves, which I think was a different take. I think it could have been good, but I think the I don't know, I think the priest and the Catholic and the whole world anything was a bit I didn't think it worked really. I don't think it worked at all really. I think it had a place to work, but it didn't do it, so it didn't work. I'm not too sure where like it could have been better. Like the first guy, the I think it's a cardinal. I'm not too sure what the Catholic stuff is, but this cardinal comes by, says to this priest, which by the way, this guy has like an atrium or whatever, like an outdoor atrium, like his own little yard full of statues and things and relics. The cardinal hands the priest a book, not the book of baptism. That's specifically it. It's not a book of baptism. It's one of the golden books, though. I think a rosary and something else, but he gives him these things, tells him to go. Guy goes in with a partner. He brings a partner, by the way, which really falls flat because of the partner. I think if the partner was not there, he would have been fine, which is probably why they had the partner go. But they would have done it anyway because the writers made a movie to make. Um, so they go. They ask the parents, "Do you believe in God?" They're like, "No," which, by the way, is an outright lie. That's an outright lie. First of all, they're lying, which, well, I guess it makes sense in retrospect because it's devil. Like you want to lie and things. By the way, spoiler: it's the devil. It's the devil. I'm not saying that like in a bad way. I'm saying the devil was fine. I guess the entire like thing with the baby. Like, by the way, the lady's pregnant with her dad's seed, but she's possessed, so it's going to be the devil that's born. So Lucifer himself is going to be born into the world, and then it's going to bring about the second age of Christ, I guess. That's the plot, by the way. Spoilers, but that's the plot. But it's a gore movie. You're not here for the plot. You're here for the effects, the things leading up to the effects, the suspense, the anticipation of the violence, and you don't really get that here. So the first two priests, they go in, and she's telling them because she's possessed, and they're like trying to do their rites or prayer or whatever. And she's like, "You molested children." And the first guy's like, "Oh no, I didn't." And then he gouges his eyes out, I believe. Or was that the second guy? I think the second guy gouges his eyes out. The first guy, I guess, puked until he died. Cut himself. Cut his neck. He cut his neck. That was it. So they die. Then a second guy comes in. He's a war priest who apparently is supposed to be like a better priest because he suffered through trauma in war, I guess. Not too sure if that's a thing. I'm not going to look it up, but it felt out of place. And he got like a title, which is a bit different than what I didn't. I shouldn't say different. I don't actually don't know what I was expecting, but hearing a title like war priest, it gave me some expectations, and they didn't happen because there wasn't. He didn't have any violence. Like I thought, okay, here's someone who's a war guy. He's gonna go in and he's gonna try to attack her, like maybe punch the demon out or something. I don't know how it, but he doesn't do anything but except to hurt himself because that's what the demon is doing. It's hurting. It makes them hurt themselves. Which, oh yeah, and in the scene with the war priest, the girl who's possessed, she vomits up her organs and then eats them back up. Which, by the way, was it looked fine, I guess, but it went on for so long. It just looked bad. Like it didn't look like gore anymore. It just looked like, oh, it's some like cloth or something that they just painted. It looks really grimy. It it stopped looking good after like the first minute or three. Which, by the way, this goes on for like 10 minutes. Like it's like that's like an 8 minute segment of the movie where she's just vomiting her organs up and then she eats them back up. The vomiting part takes a way longer. But like after she's done vomiting them, she says, "I'm gonna be eating these," and then she eats them back up. Which okay, could have been a lot faster, but they didn't do it fast. They just watched it all happen very slowly, which was kind of awkward. I felt like I was looking at the actress too much. The guy was just standing there doing nothing. Just like this was a war priest apparently, and I expected like action out of him. But really, he does nothing but die again. He baptizes her in his blood, like gives the name Lucifer to the baby, baptism of blood and all. And which, by the way, I think the war priest is the one who's on the cover of the movie. Like if you look at the Song of Solomon cover for the movie, the war priest is on the cover, and you can see him over her, and his arm is bleeding. That's because he cuts his arm to like pour the blood over her, so she baptizes. You can't see it now, but I'm holding my arms out, and okay, so he dies. Third guy is coming. By the way, the cardinal is recruiting all these people, but the third guy is like, "No, don't send me. I've already lost my soul in exorcism because I lost in exorcisms. That's how it works, right?" And I don't know how exorcisms work, but that sounds weird. Like if you fail an exorcism, then your soul goes to hell. That sounds weird. And this is the part where we actually hear some world building, which apparently there's world building in this. Sorry, my voice. I had some water earlier, so I would have a clear throat, but really it just made my throat scratchy and all. And my mouth is my mouth is really saliva-y right now because apparently hot water tastes good. I had hot water because I have sinuses, but so this guy is like, "No, don't send me. I have no soul. I'll fail." And the cardinal's like, "Okay, but this time we're sending you, so it'll be fine. Last time didn't count because we didn't send you. You did that of your own accord." And this is an argument that lasts for too long, by the way. Like after you think like the third time he says it, oh, it's gonna end now. Rule of three, right? No, it happens like five times, I want to say. Like he just keeps repeating it over and over. Like this movie is full of padding in between the gore, which is fine because you need spaces from the gore to get back to before you get back into the gore. But none of the gore in this movie is actually really like it all looks fine. It all looks fine. It just has no impact at all because there's no suspense. There's no reason to be attached to anyone. Like there's no character growth, no character setup, no character building. Like they try to do that with like before they go to the priests, but really it's just the priests being pretty awful people in the first place, so you don't really care. Like no, you don't care about anyone in this film. The girl from this very start is already possessed and having awful things happen around her, and the priests all die anyway, and they don't make you like don't even set them up as like humans or something. Right, so the world building is like like there's famine and like plagues and demons more possessing people, I guess, around the planet, and it's a time of crisis. And so the third guy goes in, he just watches, which by the way, in this guy actually does have some action, which is weird because I thought the war priest would have the action. But no, this guy has the action. There is one of the corpses of the first two priests. I believe it's the second priest, the one that did not die first. And his eyes are gouged out, I believe, and he gets up and tries to stab the third priest. Third priest successfully fights him off and whatever. But like the girl who's in the bed now, she's strapped down for some reason. She wasn't strapped down before, by the way. She was just crawling all over the bed and things, but now she's like strapped down a little bit, and because her parents strapped her down, so her arms start cracking. Which I think this part was actually really good. I think this part of the movie where the gore, it was looking at the gore more closely, and it was different than what I'm usually used to seeing. Like you usually just go slice, 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 cut, 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 mutilate, mutilate, beat, beat, ravage, ravage. Um, but in this scene, there's it's actually really cool. I thought this was the best part of the movie. Her arms crack, and they're hollow, so you just get peels like solid bits of skin like wood coming up, and they're bloody, which I think was really neat. I think that was a really neat thing that they did. Um, yeah, and so this priest here, he fights off the dead priest, and he has sex with the girl because the girl's like, "Come on, I gotta give birth to the Lucifer," or whatever. And so he has sex with her, lasts like 20 seconds. Well, really, it lasts longer, but it feels like it's just 20 seconds. 'Cause, like, the guy is just, like, really boring. And, like, you don't get any scenes of it. Like, come on, we're in a gore movie. You can show nips and the dicks. Come on. So, there was no genital mutilation, which was a bit like I'm used to seeing it, so I'm desensitized. But it was nice not to see it for a change, because it's a bit easy. And so this guy has sex with her, and then by the way, during the sex scene, she's cracking all over, like her legs are bursting apart. Like uh, it was really nice. It looked like wood chips were just flying off of her and cracking and falling off and bleeding out, which I thought was really nice. And her arms looked actually like they were hollow. Like, I don't know if there was any emphasis on like why that was, but because I wasn't really that invested by that point. But it was really neat seeing like her arms crack. And so she gives birth. He takes the baby. She's dead now. She is dead. She's dead. It was a vessel. She's dead. He takes the baby. He he walks out, and I think this part was pretty hilarious. Uh, he's walking down the stairs with the red baby, with the bloody baby, who was Lucifer, by the way, and the mom and dad of the girl that was possessed, they're downstairs like, "All hail Satan! All hail Satan! And all that he brings!" And then the husband stabs the wife. The wife turns around and stabs the husband. They both die, which was really quick. I thought it was funny. Got a laugh out of me. I think that was the best scene of the movie. It gave some character. We should have gotten that before. Like Wall. If I was doing it, I would have, which I'm not doing it. I'm not ever going to do one of these movies because I'm never going to have the budget or writing skills or whatever. I mean, I might have the writing skills. I mean, gore movies are a little easier than regular movies, but you just need the effects, which I'm not good at effects. I'm never going to do that. So if I would have done it like this in the movie, when the priests are walking up the stairs, like each time, give us a little hint. Like take a look behind, like I guess, like look at the wall. Like maybe the cross is like falling off. Like I don't want to say upside down because that's the cross of Peter, not the Satan's cross. Satan's cross is like it's got like six holes in it and stuff. But I would have had like like them having conversations while the priests are walking upstairs or during like cutaway, like the mom and dad are like, "Do you think everything's going well?" "Yes, I just hope he comes." And like you're wondering, like you could wonder who is coming, and then it's revealed it's Satan. Then it's revealed it's Satan, but the Satan revelation comes pretty in the middle of the movie. Felt kind of boring. Yeah, so he walks out of the building with the baby. The cardinal is there. He hands the baby to the cardinal, and the cardinal's like, "Okay, yeah, here's the deal." And while he's explaining the deal, the priest kills himself. He's vomiting blood and all, because I guess he lost the exorcism, so he's twice, so he's just gonna die. And the cardinal's like explaining, we needed to. My voice cracks so hard. So we need to bring about the birth of Satan so that Jesus will certainly come soon because Jesus is supposed to put an end to all this kind of stuff and hurrying it along by by having Satan be born into the world will just like summon Jesus soon and make the world better again, like send us all to heaven and all. Which, yeah, that's an explanation. I give the movie like a 5 out of 5, 5 out of, not 5 out of 5, 5 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 3 out of 10 to 5 out of 10. That's what I give this movie.
Christ and all that he